Tenerife, this team absolutely dominated. They beat Copenhagen Wolves. Everybody had them as the underdog against Copenhagen Wolves. They came out victorious. So TCM, for me, are the stronger team coming into this. Picks and bans going thick and fast. Remember, we're on 3.13. We're not on the preseason 3.14 patch because we can't really ask teams to do that with a 2-day warning before a tournament. So we are on the 3.13 patch. So this is the same as the World Finals, if my memory serves me correctly. So same picks and bans potentially, but the game has evolved already, and you can already see straight away Shivana being banned out. He has been flavor of the month, I think it is, across all the pro scene. If you've been watching Korea, he's been one of the champions that have been pretty solid. However, another champion that's been solid throughout Korea has been Annie, and it's not been taken yet. But look at NIP. It's like Lemon Dogs revisited once again. There once again.
Well, that's the funny thing, right, about NIP is that they're not... They're mostly Lemon Dogs at this point. They're 3 out of 5 men coming in from Lemon Dogs. You've got Hercubot from SK. You've got Freeze, who obviously was in the old NIP roster. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they fit into this one. In terms of picks, Lissandra are going to be picked up here. A champion which Zoro did, in fact, play in the summer split as well. So we're expecting that probably to go his way. We know that Nuke favors these more assassin-y type champions. As you can see, the Fizz was already taken out there. And that Kennen, and the Renekton, I should really say, against Zoro there. For TCM right now, hovering over the Varus. Already got the Zyra locked in for this one, which... expecting to be in that support position. However, Belgian Beast has played Zyra in some of the qualifiers earlier on in the year.
There's quite a few respect bans as well. I mean, if you look at the bans, they're not normal bans. They are targeted bans. So these teams have clearly had a lot of research against each other and sort of talked it out. I know for a fact NIP kicked everyone out of the press room so they could use that room as their team talk. Not too sure that's exactly was the global plan of when everything was laid out, but that's what they did. They occupied that. Leaguepedia were kicked out of there and NIP moved in. So they managed to get a plan, and that plan is in effect right now because there is Annie, what I've been talking about, as support, and Nunu. These are champions that have been played heavily in the OGN over the last few weeks.
So let's see then what TCM finish off with here right now. We've got the Volibear in there for the jungle. Barney D's hovering over Garen. Pretty sure that's not going to be a Garen locked in for this one.
I don't know, because JWoww, you think in that top lane, played Kha'Zix pretty much predominantly in Tenerife, but there is potentially Kha'Zix.
So the Kha'Zix I could definitely see because, as you said, JWoww. But the Garen I'm not
He's had
a
new face, but I don't think he's still going to get played.
No, his new face is not enough to get everyone in there. However, Gragas is definitely a more viable pick here. Belgian Beast, he likes to play as more, I guess we could say, standard mid laners, your AP casters with the Orion and the Ahri, Gragas kind of thing. And this Gragas really wouldn't surprise me to see going there. Kha'Zix going to go to JWoww. He's been terrifying in the past with that, and that's something that could be a little bit scary here for NIP.
Yeah, and the Gragas pick is actually something, I was talking to Crepo about. I don't want to break his thunder because it was a point that he brought up that obviously the pro players have picked up, but you think back to the Shen taunts. You used to be able to do the flash, get across, get the taunt. You can do the same thing with Gragas, and his belly dash.
Well, he's got a belly.
He has got a belly, but you can do it at different angles. You can catch people out, which is why he's effectively been, I think it's safe to say, probably the #1 pick in that mid lane. If I'm thinking back to everything that started, obviously OGN, I'm going to reference that quite a lot because that season started probably last week, 2 weeks ago.
That's a reference point.
So that's a reference point that everybody else, obviously, at the end of the day, hey, SKTT1 won the World Championship. So everybody's going to be looking to that scene right now, just like they would have done when Taipei Assassins won in Season 2. Everybody was thinking, oh God, what are these guys doing now? We've got to need to reference it. Same with Royal Club. And we just look at this. Exactly. These are the two champions being picked. Nidalee mid lane. That's actually been a pretty standard ban in most champions. No Lucian, though. No Lucian ban, no Lucian pick. That interests me. We'll see where that develops later on in the tournament.
Yeah, and that was one of my almost tips for this one. I looked at Freeze's recent games. There was a lot of Lucian in there for Freeze. Whether that's something that's going to come out maybe later on in the tournament. Let's not forget that the pro and the amateur brackets are a little bit different in the fact that the amateur bracket is straight on semi-finals into a final. Obviously, we have a seeded quarter-finals, I guess we can call it, over in the pro bracket where Fnatic and Cloud9 as the highest seeds are actually in the semi-finals already. Gambit and the Red are going to face off against each other. And then on the bottom side, CLG and team to quality are going to face off each other.
We should point out that they are the highest seeds because of the voting.
Exactly.
It's not like a case of any favoritism, anything they finished higher. They simply there because you guys
they did finish higher as well, so it kind of fits.
Cloud9 Gambit about the same. I think they're on the same stage, but
from Europe and from North America,
yeah,
where they finished in this.
At the end of the day, they were the highest voted by you guys, the fans at home. You all voted on the teams to be here. It was all that put out there, so you guys decided on the teams that will be performing in this LAN. And well, I think it's going to be a fantastic one. There's Ninjas in Pyjamas on your screen. The new lineup. Get a picture right there because these guys are going to be performing throughout the season if they can qualify for the LCS.
And that's the big question.
Now, the Intel Extreme Masters here in Cologne is their target, and TCM Gaming is in the way. And well, this could be a interesting startup because we're getting to see how these teams have developed over the break, how they've handled having time off. Because some teams just fall apart. They just stop playing. Others sit and really practice. Think of Meet Your Makers back at DreamHack. Think how they came out the starting blocks. Think how Alternate came out the starting block. That's what we're going to be looking for from these teams.
So here we go. Let's see at this early stage. We saw a ward put down there on the bottom side, and actually that was spotted as it was dropped in position. So TCM know that there is a ward down on that bottom side. They've put one up by their Wraith Camp ramp as well. So TCM, they've got a little bit of an early advantage on this bottom side of their own jungle, knowing where the vision of NIP is and knowing that they've not got vision of their own now on this top side of things. It looks to me like we will see a push on towards the blue buff from NIP of this one, and they've got to be careful, in my opinion, at the start of things with that Nunu in there who can move quickly between that red and the blue side on the top. We could very well see a trade-off in buffs at this stage.
Yeah, both looking like they're going to go for the blue invade. TCM actually have a very strong level 1 team. You think with the Zyra in there, the Volley Bear as well. There's a lot of danger for NIP, which is why they're staying quite distant. Zora Zero, this is a brave moment for him to go into that bush completely unseen. There's no vision whatsoever of what he's going to see going in there. The TCM are going to be making that move into the blue. You can see at the top of the screen as well, NIP, they're making their way in towards it. Spear lands nicely on towards Barney D there. So that have got vision. So TCM and NIP will be trading the blue buffs.
Yeah, pretty predictable start, I think, after everything that we saw from the early positions of that one. We've just seen Gragas actually teleport up to this top, so we should keep an eye on the fact that Belgian Beast is running teleport. Seems like he's going to be going into a 2v1 lane here. Mithy already got his stun built up for this one. This could be bad news for Belgian Beast. There is a stun coming down. A lot of damage onto him already, but I'm not sure they can finish off. The Ignite is going to go down. He has got a pot running. He should be able to get away from this one. Just about going down, but survives.
If the Piltover would have landed at the start of that exchange, it would have been a kill guaranteed. So very nice start there. So NIP putting a bit of dominance in that top lane. Meanwhile, we do see in the mid lane, of course, we did see Nukeduck returning to lane. So he realizes in a 2v1 position in this mid lane. This is something that's been tried and tested, certainly throughout the Korean scene, back in, you know, OGN summer, it was Summer Championships, and in Europe as well, the European LCS, we saw a lot of this 2v1 stacking in the mid lane, trying to put pressure down. And this is probably the best way to deal with a Nidalee, because AP Nidalee is such a fear right now in 3.13 that he's just so strong with those spears. The heals as well. The heals are the big part of that Nidalee. And he's going to play a big part in this game.
Yeah, and of course, just to remind you once again, just to kind of reinforce that point, we are on 3.13, not the latest patch with the masses of changes that we've got. And right now, Belgium Beast could be in trouble. 3-man gang to the top.
Yeah, it's going to dive in. I don't think he's going to be able to get away from this one. They're tanking the turret nicely there. We see him just using up 90 caliber net to get away. Freeze was taken very low, but they timed it just right. First blood, Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Not bad, getting the kill with the net and using it to escape at the same time. That's what you call value for money on that skill. But this turret is going to be going down here. We have 3 men bashing away. It's JWoww here, going heavily on towards Zoro Zero. Not quite got the damage here to finish off that kill, and that turret just about survives there. Not really got much health, and with this next wave, should actually fall.
Yeah, this middle turret is in all sorts of trouble. We see Freeze making his way back here. I'm not too sure whether he's going to get there in time because Naruto he's been tanking out those spears. And of course, the natural regen that you get with that dirty passive that Volley Bear has will help him out. That's going to be the first tower of the game. That's a quick tower. 4 minutes, 15 seconds. That one's gone down. But the pressure on top lane, are they going to be able to reply? I think they should.
Yeah, I think so as well. Belgian Beast here is going to have another barrel to come out in just a sec to finish off. And we see that clearing out that wave before the turret actually goes down. As again, Zoro0 here in the bottom lane, taking a lot of damage. Ignite's actually taking on him. That's not going to be enough. One more tick would have done that one. He already starts to recall out. But JWoww, we can see he's actually a little bit behind in CS, but forcing Zoro0 out of the lane there is going to bring him right back and putting him in front. Meanwhile, that top turret does finally go down, which leaves NIP with that first blood, tied in turrets, but at almost 1,000 gold up.
I don't think teams really realize that these towers have been changed. They've been buffed. They're meant to be stronger. But inside 5 minutes, we've already got 2 outer turrets down. And already we're seeing the game starting to develop into out of the lane phase, I should say. You can see Motroko trying to land these piercing arrow there, trying to stop them recalling. Not going to happen. How is this going to develop? Because we've had Zoro0 effectively playing as that AP. Could be a mid laner as a solo bottom lane. He's been up against JWoww. JWoww seemingly has had the better of him in lane, but in terms of CS, you can see right there on your screen, it is bang equal. So not really being pushed out. In fact, if you could just catch it with the audio, Zoro0 was laughing when he recalled with that Ignite on him as well.
Having a laugh. And he actually saved his flash and Ignite during all that, so he does have both those available.
Confidence.
That's something that we should probably expect to see here. With a Nunu in the team, they are going to be going for a, let's call it 6-minute dragon at this point. I think Pink Ward goes down to see that there is no vision. They'll spot Barney D's Ward coming over the top of the wall, and he's going to have to try and steal pretty much alone this one. The grasping root comes in, but it will be taken down there by HercuBot Smite. Nice pickup for NIP.
Yeah, 6-minute dragon. Fast play developing from Ninjas in Pyjamas here. Being very aggressive. So they're switching the lanes up. You can see now Freeze and Mithy, the new duo lane for Ninjas in Pyjamas, moving down against JWoww on that Kha'Zix once again. Kha'Zix worked so well for him in Tenerife, but have teams learned to develop, how to learn to change it? They've got 3 members coming down here, possibly 4, but there's already been pinged out. They were trying to gather around, and Mithy and Freeze already back up.
Yeah, that ward giving them that vision that they needed. We're going to see Zoro0 and Belgian Beast going head-to-head. And actually, Belgian Beast playing very aggressive on that one. Will body slam straight in there. Neither of them hitting level 6 just yet, which is obviously going to be the big telling tale whether if the person that hits it first will actually go in. And it is Zoro0 that hits that level 6 mark first of all here. And we saw already that Belgian Beast losing a little bit of health from that last engagement. I'm not sure he wants to go head-to-head here. JWoww getting a bit too aggressive maybe in this mid lane here. HercuBot going to be going in there, putting as much damage down as he can. Barrier forced out of Nukeduck, and he manages to survive. Naruto comes running in. Nukeduck actually going to turn here after getting the heal off, and they're going to go after the bear. But will they be able to lock him down? They've got a big slow. They've got good damage out of Nukeduck. Naruto misses, has to flash away. Passive will give him the regen as he tries to go back for a bit more and gets an ice ball to the face.
Realizes he's pretty strong at this point, but well, that's just a little bit too deep play from JWoww. Maybe starting to feel a little bit of tensions in the team, realizing the pace of the game is going a little quicker than they would have feel, because Kha'Zix kind of needs those little bit of a lane phase, a little bit stronger required for him to start getting the farm going. But look at HercuBot coming around the backside. We already seen Belgian Beast. Is he going to back away? They're going to go for the blue steal. They took it at the start of the game, both teams. But look at NIP. They have coverage down the bottom as well. They may try and cover off both blues.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard to stop this Nunu from doing that. And as you said, their own blue buff now is going to be the big target. They want Nidalee to be able to have that one. At the moment, there's no move being made towards that by TCM. And of course, they did trade those blue buffs right at the very start of the game. We finally see that JWoww heading around to check this one. We'll realize that that blue buff has now gone as they try to get possibly on towards Zoro0. This could be dangerous times. HercuBot, though, coming around. We see they turned around on towards Belgian Beast. Ulti comes in. Absolute Zero not going to do too much, but they're able to finish off. And now they turn around on towards JWoww, who has to flash away. He's going to go in with the Claw of Doom, and there's a double kill for Zoro0.
Yeah, JWoww kind of baited in by his own team. Belgian Beast like, no, we can take them. HercuBot shows up. Then the question was there, but they'd already made the call to go in, and that backfired horribly. It's 4-0, and it's already a 3,000 gold advantage. That's going to build even further because that middle turret is taking damage. This inner turret is taking damage. NIP are looking strong in game 1.
Yeah, Nukeduck here even managing to keep the pressure up on that mid lane. We can see that the CS across the board here for NIP. I say across the board, I'm going to cancel that out because he carries his Motroko that's got a slight lead on that one. But you look, Nidalee over Gragas at this point. You've got Alessandro with 8 TCS to the 49 of Kazakhs with 2 kills as well. And you see, it's around about 3,300 gold. Naruto finally going to come across towards this blue. Spots Nukeduck, who will just jump away there in Cougar form. No real problems for him. Both blues secured. The kills coming in, double kill I should really say, on the top side. Plus they're managing to get damage on turrets in the mid and in that top inner turret as well.
Yeah, and you can see down the bottom there, freezing Mithy. They were expecting Volleybed to come on round. They're like, Naruto, he's up around that blue. He's going to be ready. They've got the 3 traps down. The stun was ready. They were ready to go around that tri-bush. But he didn't show himself because he went back. He knows he has to keep his farm going. Hercubot started to leave him behind on that Nunu, and of course the fact that he's got that 1-0-3, he's got those boots of mobility already in there. He is zipping around the map, helping out every lane possible. And now he's looking to go for a bit of a counter invade as well. Dragon will be up in just shy of 2 minutes because of course they took it on that 6-minute mark. A very early Dragon in the game here. And as it stands, NIP are looking so good. Look at Zoro Zero. He's got the Morel Nomicon completed already. Didn't even bother going for boots. He's that confident, despite the fact he's very far up the lane.
Yeah, just the mobility that the claw gives you really is what he's relying on. We saw it in that last fight to actually finish off the double to get things rolling on that front. That inner turret less than half health already. And now Hercubot visiting this bottom lane. We can see that Barney D and Matroco are close to their tower, so they shouldn't be in too much danger. But the fact is they've got 3 men down this bottom side. There's 1 minute to go for that Dragon. And we can even see that Zoro Zero is starting to make his way over towards this mid lane. They might go for a bit of attack on the Kazakhs, who's going to jump away from that one. But that will give them free reign now on the mid turret. We're still 1 minute away from Dragon. And Breezy are going to take a lot of damage. But look at the burst onto Matroco. Mithy getting everything off on that front. Matroco ticking away here with the Ignite. Naruto will come down. They don't manage to get a kill, but they've taken the mid tower. And now only 40 seconds to go. Bottom lane very, very hurt from TCM. This should be NIP's Dragon.
Yeah, and it's going to be another tower possibly. They could shove Naruto away from this tower. We're already seeing, look at Nukeduck coming down in that mid lane. He's coming around from the red, pouncing across, trying to cut across. You can see Matroco is actually pretty low. If he sticks around, he might find a spear landing on towards him. Instead, it's going to be Naruto. That spear is chunking him down already, and he's forced to back away from this one. Oh, the spear! Why did he come back? God only knows, but NIP picked themselves up a free kill, and now it's 5-0.
And they're just that team here for pushing towers down. The likes of Nunu for the Blood Boil onto your AD carry, the poke coming out from Nukeduck, the constant threat of those big stuns from Mithy that we saw earlier on to get things rolling on that bottom lane. This is going to be another tower for NIP. We can see the Oracle there for Hercubot. He's going to clear out all the vision. And the Dragon spawning here. They've got that 4-man push team on the bottom lane. This is the second Dragon of the game. There's no challenge here from TCM.
Yeah, Dragon leashed out with the spear. That's going to go down. It's maybe going to be Zoro Zero in the top lane. They're going to try and focus, but he's already well out of there. The moment he spots JWoww coming around the side, he read that one like a book and just backs away from it. So TCM right now are hurting in every single lane. They are trying desperately, and think back to Matroco, that 20 CS lead he had. Now look at it. It's all square once again, and the Bloodthirster completed by Freeze first.
Yeah, that's going to be a real problem for him. If I look at down the goal, it's 1,000 difference between the AD carries here. It's going to be even more now. Zoro Zero is going to take that inner turret. And honestly, there's not been much of a challenge in terms of these towers and their defense from TCM. We saw in the mid lane, you get forced out by the Lissandra Nidalee threat there. They have 4 men to push the bottom tower down. TCM couldn't really do anything about any of them, and we can see here that blue buff spawn timer was already marked by Hercubot after they stole it the last time. They've got lots of cover for it this time around. That blue buff will be going the way of Nukeduck here, and they've got a complete control not only on the lanes, not only on the tower kills, but the jungle of their opposition as well.
I think Ninjas in Pyjamas fans will be wondering how these changes had affected the team, but you can see, I think it's seemingly worked very well. A strong opening here from NIP, looking to try and close out game 1 as quick as possible, it seems. The barrel goes out, throws Freeze actually in there. That's a great grasping root followed by Stranglethorn, and he will go down. Good combo, and that's actually the first kill for TCM.
Yeah, the first kill of the game going their way, and they threw a lot at it. Let's not mistake that. The barrel coming out there, the Stranglethorn's coming in as well, but a kill is a kill. That's what they're going to be looking for. We can see that some of the tweets coming in. You guys can do that by using the hashtag IEM as well. Willie Kit says, man, really aggressive posturing from both teams early. going to be an explosive game. Well, right now, certainly NIP have had the better of that one. We can see the Hercubot continuing to keep control of the enemy jungle here, getting those wards cleared out with the Oracle, putting the wards of his own down, and you hear the low health pings coming in, and that's what you're going to hear a lot here, because Nukeduck's starting to do a lot of damage. He's not got that Athene's finish and just a couple of Doran's rings in there, so you just see what he's doing now and what the potential is, considering that those spears were hitting what should be the tankiest man in the entire team.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 112 ability power, so yet to start hitting his peaks, and he's already doing some serious damage. That pink ward of Mythic desperately trying to fight out this bush area. The final grasping route will be cleared out. JWoww in that top lane. He was the savior of TCM in the, if you think back to the qualifiers, or technically was the qualifiers for the promo back in Tenerife, which they won, of course, beating Copenhagen Wolves in the finals. He was the savior for them. He's 56 CS behind Zoro0. Zoro0 is having a whale of a time in those solo lanes. He was getting pressured by JWoww early on. JWoww had to use that, but look at it. It's a 3-level difference between these two. JWoww cannot trade with Zoro0 anymore.
And the funny thing is about Zoro0, if we cast our minds right back to the summer promotion, we were thinking, you know what, this guy, he's a brilliant player. He plays a lot of Malphite, but we're not quite sure if he can pull it out with anything else. Well, he's already had 2 bans against him, the Renekton and the Kennen against him in this one. He's playing a perfect Lissandra at this point as well. He is really coming to his own through this summer split. Now on this NIP team, they are looking incredibly strong for a team that haven't been together all that long.
No, the spears. Barney D's got to be careful because he has not got as much health, and those spears will take half his health, just as we saw there, chunked straight down. I'm surprised Nidalee got through, actually, because he's been a pretty solid ban in every match that I've watched throughout the last few weeks. So it was surprising that he's been through. I don't think we're going to see him in Game 2, that's for sure.
Game 2, is it?
No, definitely not. And there's a couple more bans. I mean, Annie hasn't had that much of an effect so far, so maybe they're going to feel free that one could get through. But as it stands, this siege, there's only going to be one winner in this siege, and you can see NIP just slowly working them down, the spear after spear. He's just gone off to the side, so this spear's going to come in around the sides now, and Nukeduck's just going to keep that pressure on. And TCM, they've managed to hold the siege back off for a moment. The Blue Wolves are worn out, so they just want to go and refresh.
They're going to head back for that one. Nukeduck will be getting the blue on their side of the jungle. They still hold ward control on the TCM side of the map as well. So they've got that one when it actually spawns back in. But just to touch back onto Annie, he said not really that much of an impact that Myth has had just yet, but it only takes one team fight to land, you know, a good group stun in there, and you can pretty much call it game from that point. At this stage, certainly. 5 1-in kills, 4 1-in turrets, a massive gold lead developing your 4 ninjas in Pyjamas, and it's their game at this point. They control the pace of it. It's them who are going to be saying, all right, we're going to siege up now, or no, we're going to back off, refresh the buffs, push some of the other lanes out here. This game really is theirs to dictate at this stage.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, NIP are looking like a solid team. Bearing in mind, this is effectively 3 teams amalgamated into one right now. A little dash of SK, 3 Lemon Dogs, and of course, the remaining NIP member of Freeze, all in there and seemingly performing very well. I was talking to Deficio, who is now the manager, about how they've done in the training, how they've done in previous games. I'll go back to that in a moment because the action is kicking off. Rutrodor is going to go straight down. There's no way he's getting out of this unless he pulls a flash out, which he has. But the Ice Blast is there. Zoro0 stole it somehow. I didn't see what he got it with.
Yeah, I think it was his Ignite there. He'd just thrown his Ignite down, and Hercubot flashed over to throw the snowball at him anyway. A little bit greedy maybe, but no problems. Nukeduck here going to get ulted in. Up at the top side, Zoro0 being chased down here by JWoww. Going to get the slow off, gets the root as well. JWoww stopped in his tracks. He's going to keep going. Hercubot, meanwhile, in this mid lane taking a lot, but he gets the snowball off, and that will slow Gragas right down. Meanwhile, there is the jump in from JWoww. Is he going to be able to get caught out? Hercubot somehow still alive, but there is a snipe from Matroco, and 3 kills there being picked up by TCM. If there's a way to come back in the game, that's certainly going to be it, but they need to deal with Freeze here, otherwise they're going to lose another inner turret. It actually looks like they might want to make plays on turrets of their own, the way that they're pushing up this mid lane.
Yeah, they're setting up to try and push that. What are they going to go for? I don't know. They've managed to hold off the turret. They're going to cut off Freeze here. You can see him heading down the river. Dragon is also up, so they may use that as an objective. Yes, they will. They need to get that golden experience. They've not been able to get it for the last 2 times, so instead they're going to let Freeze live. And after 3 kills and a Dragon, that's a nice turnaround. They're still 6,000 gold behind, but more of that would work very well in their favor.
Yeah, one more of them, two more of them, and it's all good again for them. We'll have to see. This kill's really been spread around nicely for him. Obviously, decent chunk of gold for taking down Zoro there in the end, who almost got himself back to the safety of his own jungle. Almost not going to be good enough. So let's have a look down a couple of the items that are starting to be picked up here. Nidalee, I talked about earlier on, now got that Athene. The bottom turret is going to be taken down. Second one of the game there for TSM. One of the crucial pickups, though, is that Zhonya's Hourglass now for Zoro. In the bottom side. They are going to be going in. There is Zoro Matroco blown to pieces. That's going to be a kill gifted over towards Freezer. Zoro carries on. They want more of this. The rest of the team going to close around. Barney D not going to be able to escape that. Zoro will take that one, and that will open up this turret to be finished off as well.
Yeah, a great pincer move from NIP. They realized there's 3 members. They were pushing that bottom turret. They got the turret down, TCM, but at what cost? They just exposed themselves far too much, and now that is another inner turret going down. Now, Mithy's going to get caught out by JWoww, but it didn't really fancy that one. Uses the stun instead, gets another Ice Blast. Hercubot seems to be everywhere on the map right now, zipping around with those boots of mobility, just getting in their faces. And TCM, well, they've done such a great move, and it's just all backfired in a quick, swift counter by NIP.
Yeah, I think they thought that NIP are going to loop around towards Baron there. We saw them start to move out onto that top side, maybe trying to catch them out, but as I said before, the control of the jungle from NIP has been really good, as there is a stun on towards Belgium Beast. Zoro dives in there. He will be forced to use the ultimate on himself here. Did keep the Zhonyas for maybe next time around, which may have been a better option to go for Gragas when it comes down to it, but in the end, either way, no kill for either team coming out.
Yeah, he had, like you say, he had that Zhonya's available. He did bait out the Stranglethorns as well, and could have made a play, but I don't think the rest of the team were like, you're a little bit mad there, mate. You're going a little bit too deep for our liking. We're doing well, but let's not get carried away here. It is only 8-4, and still 5-2 turret advantage. They don't need to get crazy NOP. They can play just smartly, keep those items going. They've got a clear advantage in the items right now. You see that static shift just being completed by Freeze, as well as looking like he's going to go Last Whisper, of course he is. I was thinking Infinity Edge. I thought, is he really going to rush that? No, he's not. He's going Last Whisper. Belgian Beast, though, he's going to get himself a blue buff. That's a much needed buff that he hasn't been able to get for some time now. In fact, that may be his first blue of the game. And NIP, again, laying in wait. Those spears, they're going to start really hurting now. Athene's is complete. Sorcerer's Boots is on there. And the thing is, you throw the spear, pounce away, get this max distance. Obviously, that's been changed in 3.14, which is why he's been balanced out a little bit. But still, in 3.13, Nidalee is king right now. Or Queen, I guess you could say, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of damage to be done there, as you said, using the whole mechanic of getting that distance even further. Zoro, we talked about him already, the damage that he's putting out, clearing out the waves like no one's business on this top side. He'd already pretty much soloed down on towards that inner turret earlier on in the game, and we can see that gold lead starting to stretch even further now. No attempts being done at Baron. No real even, bait fight set up here either from NIP at this stage of things. They're quite happy to keep pushing and using the power that they've got of that Nidalee to really siege down these turrets. And as I start to talk about Baron, we can see Mithy there with the oracles on, just making sure that they continue to hold the ward control of this top side of the TCM jungle. They've literally got nothing in their TCM at this point.
NIP are doing a fantastic job. And look at, like you say, the ward coverage they have. The bottom, the top, they just got everything covered out, and they're starting to keep the pressure. You can see the bottom and top lane both pushed in with minions. So now the rest of the team, the one point of pressure that's required is the mid. Everybody's there from NIP gathered around, so they're trying to bait something out, trying to force them into coming out, taking full ward coverage, full vision of the Baron area. So now TCM, nothing in there. They have to brave it, which is what you see Barney D doing. He's having to use those plants to try and get any little bit of coverage, and they're so cautiously poking and peeking, trying to get any vision in towards that Baron area, because they've no idea. Because NIP have got that much of an advantage with Freeze, possibly Nuke Duck, and maybe like Hercubot in there. They could probably 3-man Baron.
You see Zoro Zero, Naruto thinking, okay, I see you in that brush, I'm going to run at you, but he's just not scared, just roots him off and backs away. Now we see that siege coming in. They want this inner turret in that mid lane, and they are going to be taking it down as well. Can't stand and bang with them with the threat of those spears coming down. We see the traps thrown into position all across this middle area as well. And that will be the third and final inner turret left in the game going down. And that leaves just a base up right now for TCM. We've got a Dragon here in 45 seconds, but it's the Baron that's surely going to be controlling most of the play from this point.
Yes, that was good positional calling from NIP there. Like you say, they pressured the top and bottom. They knew TCM were going to have to look towards that Baron. In fact, they had no vision there, so they positioned themselves all across to the blue side. So NIP, quick call, going, okay, they're all over here. Let's just go take that mid turret for free. No objections whatsoever. Didn't even... Piltover landed, actually. He sent him back in there. But, yeah, they didn't even need to fight for that one. It was such a nice... played move, and that just shows the pressure that NIP are putting across the map. They're going to do once again, try and do the same. This time around, it's for an inhibitor turret though, so it's going to be a little bit more tricky. They may even try and push towards Baron now.
Yeah, I think so at this point, with just the base left up. They want to fight TCM at this point. They are stronger than them. If they can draw them out, get one caught down with Zoro Zero, that could be a lot of damage as Barney D going to take the ace in the hole. That will take half of his health away. The rest of NIP set up. Mithy got his stun charge, so Tibbers here in the jungle is going to stun everyone in his path. Like, there's no real problem about that one, so excited to see how this one all does kick off. But at the same time, the last couple of fights, TCM have looked a little bit better team-wise. But are they too far behind? That's what we're going to see here shortly, I think.
This is where we're hoping that 3.14 patch will turn things around. The fact that Dragon's available and nobody's really interested in it, they're just going off for a two-man, so that you'd have to have all 5 members there, but that's for another day, because right now at 3.13, it is all about the Baron dance, and that is what's happening. You see TCM all 5-man grouped up here. They're going to see that ward, they're going to clear that one out. Dragon has gone down, trying to desperately to shove in some vision control, but they've left their inhibitor fairly exposed here. Nukeduck's actually pushed up on his own quite far. He's going to have the backup of Zoro Zero. The rest of the team will come around, and Matroko dangerously close there to get Nukeduck. Nukeduck could explode him if he lands those spears in the right place.
Well, that's the thing. Dangerously close is the key there. We saw how close he was to Matroko, but still how much damage that spear actually did to him there. That's a telltale sign. And that area where TCM are right now is easy pickings for Nukeduck. You don't miss
I could land a spear there.
I think we all could. That's the real problem for TCM. They've now spotted that, and they're like, guys, we have to loop around. We have to get away from this one. There's a spear onto Barney D. Naruto, the big tanky bear, dodged it quite conveniently there for Barney D to catch Scumbag, and that will leave NIP again with complete positioning control. A blue buff here for whoever wants it. It's going to be Hercubot by the looks of things. And again, they keep control of the Baron area. They're going to take red buff away. There's not much to work with here from TCM.
Yeah, red and blue taken away. TCM thinking that NIP have all backed, and they actually are, so they're going to try and quickly rush up that middle, try and push out the pressure as quickly as they can. Quick shot tweeting in there, soaking about the lemons and pyjamas. Lemons in pajamas. Okay, I could call them that. Lip? A bit lippy maybe, I don't know. They're looking super solid. They are indeed, Trevor. That is exactly what's happening. Clever play from TCM there. Reading the situation very well, realizing NIP had all backed, quickly shoving straight up that mid lane, taking down the inner turret.
Yeah, inner turret, nice pickup, no doubt about that one. We can see that they're backing off, looks like towards a Dragon, which unfortunately for them, they got the last before the last one. I don't know what.
They got the
one
Dragon
before the last one.
Yeah, but
NIP obviously picking one up in between. That's already gone now. And that leaves them up on the Baron side once again. TCM got no vision of that one. Nukeduck continues to just throw out those spears pretty much on no cooldown at this point. He's got constant spears heading out there. Mithy, who seems to have an oracle for the last 10-15 minutes of the game in this, he's managed to hold things down quite nicely, and here is the start for NIP. And look at the minimap there. We can see the recalls coming in from Gragas and Varus. That's going to leave 3 max to do anything, and Nukeduck zoning them out with the spears.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about a moment ago. That, you know, they're so strong that they could 3-man Baron, and sure as hell they're doing it. I would have expected them to do it with Nukeduck rather than Zoro Zero in there for that little bit of health healing that he got. Hercubot taking very low. He's only level 11. Naruto wanted a peek and didn't get anything from it. So, Baron picked up for free there from NIP. No real contestation there. And Hercubot is going to go back. Still only level 12 and 11. These guys have been roaming a lot when you compare it to Zoro, Zero, and Freeze that are up at 17. So they've had a lot of lane experience stolen away from them, but it doesn't matter because the rest of NIP is so strong.
So after that, there was 3,800 gold for Freeze to spend and 2,800 for Zoro Zero. That's a lot. And in terms of items, we can see now where that leaves them. An Infinity Edge added into the Bloodthirst, the Static Shift, picking up an Elixir as well. Yeah, it did go down.
It did go Infinity Edge, it's just that confident. Yeah.
In the top side of things, an Infinity Large Rod was picked up by Zoro Zero. He decides, you know what, I'm going to save that next 1,100 gold. I'll wait a little bit later for the finisher.
To be honest, no one's built armor, so he's probably thinking, well, there's no point in Last Whisper. I may as well just get straight and get a load more critical damage in there. So, Ninjas in Pyjamas with the Baron pushing up the mid lane. They haven't really got the bottom and top pushed too much with minions, but those spears are really starting to sting right now. We saw Motroko taking one, can't take two, that's for sure. Naruto just sidestepping that one, but that tower is already below half health. Nukeduck's just waiting for his moment. Those spears are going to start being, I believe, because he's had a line of sight, they may not be visible sometimes if he's doing them just at the side there, but that's an easy turret there, and now they're going to move in on the inhibitor.
Yeah, just a kind of step-by-step procedure at this point from NIP. Get close, get the spears in, poke them down till they have to back off, and then force those turret pickups, which right now with Freeze so strong, plus that Blood Boil coming out from Hercubot as well, he is taking these turrets down like nobody's business. There's not really a lot that can stop him. We see the NIP warding up in the lanes as they push the turrets down as well. They've got complete vision on that side of things. Meanwhile, Zoro Zero is actually pushing the top lane through. And Belgian Beast, we didn't really touch any apart from at level 1, actually. Is Naruto going to flash in there? It'll force a flash from Hercubot. But Belgian Beast, as we said, at level 1, but not since then, ran with teleport. And he had literally no impact on the game with that teleport so far.
Yeah, well, the problem was, I think, it's because NIP just played it so fast and loose at the start that obviously they picked Gragas because they knew they were going to be up against an idiot or something that's going to siege down turrets. They got a lot of wave clear. Zoro Zero actually in trouble, but he could turn his back around. No, he won't. JWoww comes in, and that unseen threat, Big Claw, comes in and finishes him off.
Yeah, really nicely done there from JWoww. Actually, the Zonya's not used by Zoro Zero. I think he wanted to do it there at the exact point where JWoww just nailed him down. But one kill here and there, not the end of the world for NIP and their chances in this game. Obviously, they are running Baron there a mile ahead of this one, but still can't afford to really be giving these big kills or these kills away at any real point of it. You see there's Zoro Zero on the bottom right-hand side of your screen on player cam. He's got the hand warmers in. A little bit chilly here in Cologne, so definitely something to work with from that side of things, but they shouldn't be too worried here, NIP. I mean, as I said, step-by-step plan.
He's a Scandinavian, he shouldn't be cold.
Well, that's what I was wondering about as well.
Well, actually saying that, he's a gamer, so he's indoors all the time.
We did see Cyanide needing hand warmers. You know, this is a Finnish guy in Los Angeles.
Yeah, well, the air conditioning in the Staples and the Galen was pretty intense, that's for sure.
That's
but
Americans and their AC.
Ninjas in Pyjamas right now have complete domination. They have just shy of 11,000. It's going to go that way. Nukeduck soloing out the Dragon himself. Baron buff is not far. It's going to wear off any second now, so that's going to go away. So that advantage is gone. But I don't think they're too worried about that because TCM are pushed in at their base, and you can see them desperately trying to clear it out. They have managed to get one of those inhibitors down, which means all the other lanes are pushing in nice and strongly. Zoro Zero is going to wipe out the top wave. The bottom lane is getting cleared by Motroko, but meanwhile they have to deal with not going too far up the lane because you can already see NIP making that move. The moment they saw Motroko shifting along that lane, thought, oh, we might be able to get a free pick here. And once again, NIP take full control of TCM's half of the map.
Yeah, and losing that AD carry, not just because of the damage, but the ultimate coming out there from Motroko in these team fights will be crucial if they're to stand even a remote chance, I think, of having them of winning them. Zoro Zero, actually, when he did die to JWoww, he had enough gold then to finish off that Rabadon's death cap as well, which is why he was maybe thinking, you know what, I'm just going to go for this anyway. If I die, no big deal. I can go back, get my death cap, come back even stronger. But Mithy, again, we talked about how instrumental he was for the Lemon Dogs in their change around last season. He's playing a brilliant game so far here with his Annie. It's easy to say that, obviously, when you've had a big lead for most of the game. We'll see how the pressure really comes through there. So an ace in the hole comes in. Naruto-Do's done a great job of not blocking anything for his squishier team members.
They tried to combo that. Ace in the hole and spear would have dropped Matroko in one. That's what they were trying to do. You saw the ace in the hole land, that knocked half the health off. If the spear had gone in, he would have been dead. So that's what they're trying to do. That was so close. Matroko just thinking, okay, I'm playing a risky game here. I'm going to have to make sure those spears don't land in there. So they're trying the 5-man siege this time around. But the Gragas barrels now are strong enough that they can clear those waves pretty quick. The piercing arrow, that's going to go straight down the line. They're going to clear out this wave. So NIP at the moment are being stalled out quite nicely by TCM. But it is a waiting game.
Yeah, and in this scenario, you can dodge those spears all day. My opinion is that Naruto-Do still needs to be the man at the front. You see there, even him as the big tanky bear, those spears ripping pieces out of him, but certainly can't afford the AD carry to be getting hit by them, and he should be the one, if anyone's to take it, he should be the one to do that. Beast there just body slamming out of range of another one from Nukeduk, and the thing is they've got the heal coming out here as well from Nukeduk, which is certainly a big chunk of health as well. The Hercubot can obviously get back in there, but they've managed to catch out Nukeduk. He's going to get exploded, but there are the ultis being strung together. Freeze doing a good job there as he's now on that killing spree. They go back in towards the tower. That was a 1-for-1. They lose JWoww, but take down Nukeduk in the process. The question is, will NIP back off from this one? Freeze didn't lose any health. He's got that Bloodthirster for the sustain. I think they can keep pushing here.
Yeah, they're keeping getting a couple of shots in there. Once again, Barney D back in there. Stranglethorn's not available now, and nor is Chain of Corruption. So like you say, those big ultis are down, and NIP are forced to back off. So the siege backfired, didn't work out too well. The inhibitor will be respawning as well. There it is, back on your screen. So again, TCM have weathered the storm a little bit here. A little bit CLG-esque maybe, who knows, long time ago that happened. It is still 11,000 gold differential, 7-3 in kills, in towers, sorry, and 10-6 in kills. But TCM, they're back in the game maybe. Can they keep it going? Naruto-Do, he's going to get stronger. He's going to start weathering the storm out. JWoww is starting to become scary. You saw how quick he took down Nukeduk, even in a 5-on-1. He leapt in there, saw his opportunity, caught them out when Belgian Boost landed that barrel. That barrel itself did do a lot of damage. TCM may be able to contest this next Baron, because remember, they have Gragas. Gragas is like the prime example of contesting Baron. If they can keep the coverage around there, if they can keep hold of this vision, which they're trying to do right now.
Oh, Mithy here to be in a little bit of danger. JWoww deciding I'm not going to go all in for this one. Jump straight over the top of the wall for him.
Oh, they've caught themselves out of position.
That's it. This is just a simple positioning mistake here from TCM. NIP just going straight up this mid lane. They're going to go in for that inhibitor, trying to use the spears to keep them in that narrow corridor as Naruto-Do going to come chasing down. Mithy is going to get singled out and finished off here by JWoww, but the rest of NIP trot on down to that bottom inhibitor turret, pick that one up, but they managed to land the ult onto Hercubot. They're going to keep going from this one as they bring Zoro back. He will ult onto himself. Ace in the hole comes through as well. Zoro using the Zhonya's. Freeze going to get knocked up by the Stranglethorns, but they might be able to clean up here. Freeze gets himself the double kill. Nukeduk going to jump off into Cougar form as they try to chase. Either way, this is an inhibitor, a second inhibitor here for NIP.
Will they back out? Will they continue pushing? I'm not too sure. They need to back away from this one. I feel Matroko back out there with those speedy boots. He's just charging around, but Freeze, perfect positioning from Freeze there. Just kept out of the danger and picked himself up another bunch of kills. 6-1-1, and with that last Whisper, Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, and Static Shift, he is doing massive amounts of damage at the back. This is the AD carrier's time to shine. JWoww, I thought, was going to get himself in a great position because he took down Mithy just at the side. He was primed and ready to come in at the side and maybe try and pounce onto someone, pounce onto that AD carry at the back while the rest of the team was preoccupied. But the ultis just didn't quite land in the right place. Barney D, you are well out of position. And that ace in the hole is going to find you easy.
The spear in the hole combo working out very nicely. It's Naruto just getting behind that siege minion before the spear could land onto him as well. And they back away from Baron knowing, okay, this is a 5v4 now. They lose a big chunk of CC out of with Barney D being down for the next half a minute. They push the waves out, and surely this is going to be Baron number 2.
Well, this is a game that NIP should have cleanly won a long time ago. But TCM are hanging on tooth and nail. They're slowly dragging it out, and NIP definitely in the commanding position now. This is going to be another Baron. This probably will be gained now for NIP. But TCM has shown great resilience because they were, what, 4-1 down in turrets, being hammered across the map, 5-0 down in kills, almost 5 or 6k behind at one point. But they've managed to just hang on somehow. Is this NIP failing to close out the game, or is this TCM's resilience? I don't quite know. But TCM may be going to take something from this game a little bit more confident. NIP, at the start, you think, God, this is going to be a clean 2-0. They are looking so strong. But suddenly, I'm not so sure.
Well, let's cast our mind back to Lemon Dogs, which is essentially this team plus Freeze and Hercule at this point. They weren't a team, despite how many wins they had last year, that won quickly. No. They were a team that took their time to finish off games.
Methodical, I believe, is the phrase.
Methodical is the exact phrase that we're looking for. And I think a lot of that came from Mithy and, you know, his play style that he almost pushes onto the team of this is how we do it, this is how we win safely and securely. So far, it's definitely safe and secure. The question is whether they'll make the slip up, something they didn't do often last year.
Absolutely. So
this year. We're still in this year. It's been a long year, that's for sure.
Look at that. They tried to go for Freeze. They thought they cut him out of position. They got him down to half health, but the explosive cast couldn't get the flip from Naruto. The flash came out with the 90 caliber net, quickly escaping. And they do manage to try and keep that siege away, but look at that. You see 1,000 crit plus coming out from Freeze there onto the minions. That tower just getting absolutely pounded down by those shots. He just needs a couple of free moments on it, and he will chunk the rest of it down. TCM realizing this could be the end of game 1.
Yeah, if they don't kill Freeze, this game is way over. There's Tibbers coming down. They do dive on towards Nuke Duck. He's actually going to pop his Zonias. Freeze is right in the middle of the pack here, chipping away. And I say chipping away with a sledgehammer kind of style there, destroying everyone in his path. Belgium Beast gets sniped off. Triple kill. Can he finish off? Yes, he can. Quadra kill here for Freeze. And that will signal the end of game number 1 as NIP pick up their first major tournament victory here with the new lineup. Brilliant play.
He really wanted the penta there, but it wasn't available to him. So quadra kill it was. And what a way to finish. Ninjas in Pyjamas, they win game 1. This is all best of 3 action today here in Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, as well as tomorrow when the finals will be happening. But game 1, first blood to NIP. And they are looking strong considering they've got a complete new lineup. They started off strong. Maybe that just like the fact that they couldn't close out was part of that. You know, the shot calling was pretty strong at times, but maybe there's still just those little bit of tweaks that are required.
Yeah, I think, you know, finishing off the game safely and quickly is something that maybe comes at the end of a team's development, to be honest. That's, you know, getting into the lead in the first place is what you work on first. Well, I mean, closing out is something that you have to develop later.
The original part, I guess, is from the individual skill, the individual talent. Winning them lanes is all about the individual skill. Pulling together as the team, the teamwork, that's what's going to take the time for.